Welcome, everyone, to Busting Out the 619 episode. We even confused ourselves today because we did a Hump Day special on Wednesday, thanking everyone for making us Twitch affiliated over at our local establishment. So we are not exactly the Ocho anymore. We are the 619 episode. But again, we're here, and I am Chris Parrish alongside with Bobby Munson. Bobby, how are you doing?
As you can see, I got a big smile on my face, so I must be doing fantastic. Glad to be here for another Sunday afternoon, morning. I don't know. Times have been changing all over the place, but definitely not in my neck of the woods anyway. So hopefully everybody's doing wonderful, and hopefully you set back here, set forward your clocks, whatever it is that you guys all do.
We don't do 0.5. We get that. We take that crap out of here. We just add another episode because people support us, so we give them what they want. That is the busting out mentality, and that is the Ole way.
Uh-oh. It looks like we don't understand the ads here on the show just yet. You put on my comment, and it went to an ad break. Well, we apologize, so we'll just do this.
You know what? That's a great reminder that if you subscribe, you can get rid of those ad breaks, and you can see all the comments we put through those ad breaks.
That's right. That's right. You can do that as well, too. You don't have to. You can just follow right along. We're happy to have you
again, just so you can see it again.
But there's all sorts of fun stuff going here over here at OLE. There, Parrish, we've even got, I think we've got some emotes built into the OLE Twitch now as well, too. So you guys
do
send out some emotes. You can have some fun with that kind of stuff. As you see, we got some playing around with those set emotes right now. Oh, I'm still an ad. Okay, we need to learn how this ad break stuff works, man.
This is like our first day. So no.
There we go. But yes, there's some of the set emotes that are now available on Twitch there as of this morning. But there we go. Okay, so we gotta go over to
there you go, Andre. There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, Andre. Again, as we mentioned, we're not quite used to the ads yet. We will learn. We're learning, as we say, over here at OLE. So yes, it's still a very new thing to us. But as we said, if you do subscribe, you can get rid of the ads. The ads are necessary because we need to make some of this so that we can, make the show better for each and every one of you. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to make the best possible content that we can over in OLE. And yes, you do. Yeah, that's right. I've been hard at work this morning already to make stuff like that happen. There's a few of them in there. In fact, Andre, if you look in the Twitch emotes there too, you'll see one for the for your logo there for the Andre and Melball talk show. Check it out. It's right in there, my man.
We got everyone covered. Oh, and welcome, Melball. How are you? Right. Thank you for joining.
It's a rocking show here today. Everybody's up bright and early.
We're tearing away the comments just like a certain well, I guess we got to do it.
Breaking news, you say?
Yeah, Logan Paul's out for a really long time because despite his attempt at stealing the Astrid Pizarro natural pose of stardom, he also tore his meniscus, ACL, and MCL. So Logan Paul putting it all out on the line, a crown jewel, and not only coming up short, but also tearing his entire lower body in the process.
Well, you know what? Here on Busting Out, we regret to inform you that today is our in memoriam episode for Logan Paul's career in professional wrestling.
It really isn't, but it is.
It was a very long and illustrious career of copycatting everybody else's famous moves. But
I want to say Astrid just has one of those voodoo dolls of Logan Paul and just like bit the leg off. Yeah. Saw the pose and she's like, screw you, Logan.
Check's still in the mail, hopefully, though.
Yeah. You don't want to pay me, you say? There goes your leg. You bastard.
Andre, have a good day of work there. Thanks for stopping by, my man. Really appreciate that.
Remember, Andre, work smarter, not harder. Yeah. So yeah, Logan Paul out for a very long time. I'm sure the product is going to miss him terribly.
I'm sure they will. Oh, this is wonderful. We can make sure we don't talk about wrestling this whole episode. I never work hard. That's okay too. That's Brunch Buster approved right there. If you want, Noah messes with my Astrid says, "Oh, and hype train."
Ooh.
Ooh.
A hype train to the bus station? I mean, come on, it all just works together.
Woo. We're having all sorts of fun here on Twitch now. We don't even have to talk wrestling anymore. It's
a hype train that also goes off the rails. It's in our wheelhouse.
What were we talking about? Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul not wrestling for a long time.
That's okay.
I mean, in all honesty, that sucks because he does. I mean, to be all fairness, whether or not you like the guy or dislike the guy does work really hard, puts in the work. He is trying to do a lot to make a name for himself in professional wrestling. He is bringing a lot of people to the WWE. As Roman Reigns once said in that press conference, you're taking your 30 million followers and you're bringing them over. I mean, that could not be the most true statement out of the whole thing. And let's be honest, he didn't exactly crap the bed last night at Crown Jewel or yesterday at Crown Jewel. I definitely think he was a tad exposed on that level, though. But, I mean, he's going up against arguably the best in the game right now in that company in Roman Reigns. So, I mean, even a rookie, even Connor McDavid didn't look like the number one guy in his first NHL game. Not that I'm saying Logan Paul's Connor McDavid. Just saying.
Oh, you're saying Logan Paul can't step into an Edmonton Oilers jersey in his next iteration of sports entertainment?
I think that's when you see 17,000 people throw their jersey on the ice, if that's ever the day.
Fair enough. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's unfortunate for him. Of course, we know that he wanted to be able to do more with the company and there probably was plans in place, but things happen. That is professional wrestling. And he put on a strong showing yesterday, but again, there's holes in his game, but that can be expected. What's that? His third match ever, and you're putting him into a main event spot in front of a large crowd like that. I mean,
but it's never too early to bust out, Ed. Never too early to bust out. We do this shit 24/7. All right.
That's right. Sometimes we randomly show up on a Wednesday night. Sometimes,
we
Sunday
spend a lot of money on trains because they go so off the rails here on Sunday that we never see them again. We always have to buy new trains.
Yeah.
That's why we appreciate the hype train, because that's a new train now. That's right.
And yes, brunch will be served on here. You just got to stick around for a little while longer.
Yeah.
We can eat with you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, gotta eat them dubs, it is football Sunday. So actually my team doesn't even play today. They play tomorrow, so that. And have you seen the pricing for fuel nowadays? It is so through the roof that we need to also do construction on our roof. I mean,
that's why we have so many ad breaks.
Yeah.
Those ads are they're paying for the trains that we keep wrecking.
I mean, it's just, I mean, it all comes full circle, right? So, but yeah.
Right. I guess that's exactly right. You get the cool emote.
Yeah, why wouldn't you exactly. See, this is what happens when we go off the rails so much. We find people that know how to do some things, and then we try to bring them back. Yeah. And they make some emotes. I mean, it's all good. I mean, I hope this makes sense because I don't think it is, but I'm
pretty sure. I don't know if it worked or not, but we might even have sound files for when we get bits given to us here on the Twitch channel. So that's a cool thing as well, too. That is a possibility. So if we ever get bits, we'll find out.
I know we have this one.
Ole! Oh, Ole.
I was smart enough to take the loop off. Oh.
And yeah, the TV talk one might need some adjusting. I agree with you, Ed. It was just trying to put some stuff in quick this morning. And there's the Chris Parrish one, of course. And I thought it was Ole. Yeah, after yesterday, it was Ole.
Yeah.
At least it was temporarily Ole.
Yeah, no. Speaking of our episode being the 619, I mean, in reference to the one who is the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio, had a really good match against Gunther on Friday. Absolutely shocked of how well this match was. I was not sure. Like, it's not like I don't think either one of these guys are capable of putting on good matches because all they do is put on great matches. But given the size difference, I was shocked on how well they worked together. And I thought it was absolutely amazing. Rey Mysterio versus Gunther, not a match I was expecting to see when Rey was moved over to SmackDown, but I'm so happy we got to see it.
Yeah, and it's a credit to Rey Mysterio's capability of adapting to his opponent inside the ring, whether his opponent is on his level with quickness, size, speed, or whether or not he's going up against, a giant or somebody, of good size when you got like a Gunther. I mean, we know that he's been able to put on good matches with guys the size of The Undertaker, the Big Show and stuff like that in the past. And it's a testament to Rey's wrestling, and that's exactly what was on display on Friday night as he took on Gunther in that Intercontinental Championship match. And again, putting another well-established veteran of the game in the ring with Gunther and allowing him to get a credible victory as well is only establishing Gunther as a major player within the ranks of WWE. They are slowly developing an absolute top guy in this guy.
Yeah. And an amazing thing though too is just the usage of not only Gunther but that Intercontinental Championship. We had Rey win a number one contender match, making that Intercontinental title look something worth fighting for, making it something more prestigious. Right now, we haven't seen an Intercontinental Champion that has done so much for that Intercontinental Championship, and I'm going to say probably since The Miz. And I think it's absolutely amazing not only the importance of the way Booker is being perceived now, but because of that Intercontinental title just comes with it. And it's amazing. And it's hilarious to me now to see how many people don't have an issue with that current look of that championship. Now that the perception of that title is the next most important championship in WWE since the WWE Universal Championship that's held by Roman Reigns. So absolutely amazing just to see that Intercontinental Championship be presented as something that we all reminisce of what it was back in the late 80s and in the 90s. So credit to credit's due to not only Gunther but Rey for what they did, but also the creative direction that Triple H is providing.
Yeah, exactly. And you did mention about the look of it, and I know some people might not have liked it at first, but the thing was, that was such a far cry from what they had been doing with championships in the WWE that I liked it when I first saw it. As soon as I laid eyes on it, I'm like, it's a far cry from what the Intercontinental title is that I recall from my childhood, but at least it's not a big, gigantic WWE logo on a different colored strap. And that's what really stood out and really enjoyed about that. Yo, Papa Smokes is in the house here today.
Can I do it like you do on Fusion?
Oh, do it.
It's Papa Smokes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I always wanted to do
that. Nice.
Now we got
more comments coming in. As the more comments coming in, I'm sure that hype train's going to go once again, man. We're all for the trains here at the bus station.
Also, I just want to point out, because I know you guys did an episode with Bob Backlund. Absolutely fantastic, because I think Bob Backlund is such a hidden treasure that not enough people talk about him. I love that guy. Like, going back and watching not only his matches with Bret Hart, but just that whole series that they did when they had that submission and like Owen Hart was there. Like, that is still such an underrated match, in my opinion, that not only was Owen's like amazing job of crying and convincing his mom to throw in that towel, but like people forget how amazing that match was just from a technical standpoint. And I think people forget how good Bob Backlund is just because he wasn't the world's biggest gimmick when it came to pro wrestling, but
not at all.
At the same time, who also doesn't remember when he was trying to go for president in the US? That was still some of the greatest stuff ever.
He might be one of the craziest men ever to walk the face of this planet, but absolutely love him. And so glad we were able to get that episode in, because so many times when we go to take a look at the career of somebody, it's because suddenly they passed away and we have to jump on the opportunity to talk about them. This time we had planned it. We said, no, we need to get one of these in well before that happens. And it was absolutely awesome to dig into the career of Bob Backlund and learn so much more about his history and everything like that. And anybody who wants to find out more about the really deep history of professional wrestling, reach out to my man Pop Smokes right there. That guy is an encyclopedia of professional wrestling history, especially dating back into the territory days. A lot of knowledge right there.
You know who if I was to bring back Bob Backlund today to manage anybody, 100% it would be Chad Gable and Otis. And you can't tell me that chemistry wouldn't be amazing.
Bob Backlund would make it work.
Like I remember how much of a disconnect it almost seemed like him and Darren Young kind of had, and they did have chemistry, but the kind of the dry humor sometimes that Chad Gable has would just fit so well. Plus the technical background that they have would complement and kind of like his mantra of like what he believes is like good wrestling. But also I would love to see the dynamic between Otis and Backlund because it would be so good.
I think that, there's definitely a lot that could be done. And Bob Backlund, I mean, he's timeless. Like I could, I'm sure 10 years from now, we're still going to be talking about him. I'm pretty sure he's invincible. So more Bob Backlund, please.
Right. Yeah, but just Ed's coming in. Backlund might be a good mouthpiece for Gable Stevenson. Yeah, and I still think Gable Stevenson needs to be a part of Otis and Gable. Like I want to see that become a faction.
Well, that's what Kurt Angle had proposed at one point, if I'm not mistaken, as well, was to get Gable Stevenson along with Otis and Chad Gable in a stable that he would manage. But yeah, Bob Backlund would be a great fit for that as well too, and maybe drive a little bit of that dry humor that you were saying. That would be quite entertaining.
Yeah, and it's weird because I remember Triple H stating on that podcast, I believe it was with Ariel Helwani, saying that the plan for him at one year's WrestleMania was to do a program with Gabe Stevenson and put him over, and that was shortly before that was kind of around the time where he got his heart condition and things like that. So it would have been amazing to see kind of had that not only taken place, but would Gabe Stevenson now be a primary focus in WWE? Because the only thing we saw was that WrestleMania where he came out in and helped out with the Street Profits. So like we really haven't seen much of him lately. So it'd be interesting if not only is there still a plan to use him down the road, but is he really going to be part of the future in WWE? Because I just don't know where he would fit right now.
Well, and the question becomes, is he really picking it up as fast as they want him to, too? Because they put all this hype into showing him he's a former, a former Olympian. He was a current Olympian, gold medalist, I believe, if not mistaken. I mean, this guy's got all those accolades, but the problem is that you can't assume that somebody from a different sport, albeit that wrestling like Gable Stevenson does have some relation to professional wrestling as well too. It doesn't always mean that everybody is going to pick up the aspects of it and get it 100%. It is an advantage, but it's not necessarily quite the same. And that's the thing, not everybody's going to have that ability to transfer that knowledge over to a professional wrestling ring. Just because Kurt Angle did it so seamlessly and picked up on the business side of it perfectly doesn't mean that Gable Stevenson will do the same. I think it could take a lot more time and a lot more commitment on the part of Gable Stevenson before we'll definitely see that. And I should mention before we keep rambling on that just a warning, you guys, at the 30-minute mark, there probably will be another ad break. So if you are subscribed, you will continue to get to listen through that ad break ad-free. But if you're not, just a fair warning in advance that there is an ad break coming up very shortly.
Yeah, and with a lot of people, I know a lot of people sometimes expect an ad break to not hear any content. But the reason why people do continue to go through the ad break, it doesn't exist, is so we can provide a good stream and a good content for the ones that are subscribed and they don't miss anything. It just shows the importance of subscribing. We all know that not everyone is capable of doing that, and we don't ask everyone to do it if they are unable to. But if you are able to and you do want to, please do. That would go a long way. That would help us out very much so. But either way, we appreciate the support. We appreciate everyone who chose to take their time to go off the rails with us today. And this is definitely going to be an episode of Busting Out, where if there's any topics that our chat has or they want to talk about, we're more than open to do it this time around. Our notes are very dry. In fact, they don't exist.
I mean, if there was much to talk about from yesterday's pay-per-view premium live event, we'd be talking all about that. But we did do a full-on review yesterday after the show along with Astrid there. So, I mean, you guys can check out the replay of that as well, too, to find out our thoughts. But, I mean, there wasn't just a whole lot of big talking notes that came out of yesterday. No big shocks, no big surprises, no... I wouldn't say like mind-blowing matches to the point where it's like, damn, you got to go see that. That's going to be in everyone's top 10 list this year.
Yeah. Also, I just want to kind of put out that I am just kind of reading something as we're going in, and it looks like the plan for Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley is to have that rubber match. And I guess it was something that Brock Lesnar had put out there, that he wanted a series of matches with Bobby Lashley, and that was definitely received very well with Bobby Lashley, who also wants a similar thing. So be prepared to see a kind of at least another match, but at least a continuation of the feud between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar.
And where do you put them at the next one? Like, are they going to rush it and put it on Survivor Series in a couple of weeks just to have it happen, or do you do something else in the meantime? Like, do you involve those two somewhere else? Do you just not have them on Survivor Series? Like, what would be your thought on how to do this and prolong it to, say have at a Royal Rumble or a WrestleMania, even for that matter, without going too many times with these two guys?
I would love them to almost have, remember in SummerSlam where they had Riddle and Rollins come out and just kind of fight. I know their match got taken out because of like time restraints, but they ended up just doing a small segment where they just fought each other. Yeah. I would love to see, or maybe even if you went to the Survivor Series, you just do that again. Like I know we were saying yesterday, or I was mentioning about them doing an unsanctioned match, because by technicality, an unsanctioned match wouldn't count against their streak. But it's one of those where there is no winner. And I would like to see something like that where, the match gets thrown out because there's just too much violence, there's too much fighting, or, one of that. They're just not worried about the wins and losses between them. It's all about, revenge in any way. Like Brock Lesnar still wants revenge on Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley did get the upper hand on him a little bit in the match yesterday at Crown Jewel. And then Bobby Lashley wants that revenge because Lesnar somehow still snuck out that W. So why do you have to have a conclusion on the next encounter? And if that's the case, why couldn't that do something to escalate to a bigger and final encounter? And I would put that at the Royal Rumble simply because that is a name draw that the Alamo Dome would need. Like that's a big time event. And quite honestly, does Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar need to be in the Royal Rumble this year? Because I don't see them being legit winners this year. So why?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going for name power or just not having enough people, I can understand it for sure. You're right, though. It doesn't have to have a drawn-out conclusion just yet. And in fact, I think it would almost be awesome if at one point in time or sometime coming up soon, whether it be on, say, a Monday Night Raw or on a pay-per-view, if something was set up and while Brock Lesnar is making his entrance, as soon as the music hits and he starts walking out, if out of nowhere Bobby Lashley came from the back, just speared him right off the ramp or something along those lines, takes the both of them, wipes them both out, they're out for a temporary period of time, continues to build this entire thing, like almost have them interact but not execute a matchup until you finally have to put them in a final gimmicked match of some sort, like we've mentioned yesterday, the possibility of the fight pit returning, something along those lines that really suits these two individuals.
Yeah. And I think too, like what we have right now is very rare in pro wrestling. We have two mega heavyweights, something that we haven't seen in a long time, and they're just not normal heavyweights. They're very accomplished, very achieved heavyweights at that point. Both multi-time WWE champions, both cross-promotional athletes, as they both developed a career and a knack in the MMA world, whether it was Bobby Lashley I know he's done some stuff in I know it was MFC here in Edmonton. I was actually at his only fight here in Edmonton, but he has done stuff just throughout MMA. Whereas Brock Lesnar ultimately went to the UFC and became the heavyweight champion there, and actually surprised I think everyone about how dominant he could be in that realm. So I think you need to be a little bit smarter with this and don't waste this, because this could be one of the biggest things you do, because outside of maybe Omos and Braun Strowman, who we did see yesterday, they really don't have a lot of like huge heavyweights on their roster. So the fact that you not only have two, but two that actually have name value and achievements outside of pro wrestling, I think you got to really make sure you do this properly and not just waste it for the sake of wasting it.
Better yet, if you have Brock Lesnar on board with it, this isn't something that you're just forcing him to do because you think it's the right decision. When he is fully invested and fully on board, it seems like anytime he really wants to work with somebody, you're going to get something special. He saves all his best energy and all his best in-ring stuff for when he really has that desire to work with somebody. You know, we saw it in AJ Styles as well too. A lot of the times Brock, we see a lot of these squash matches and stuff like that, instant wins for him. They're just complete write-offs. But when he worked with AJ Styles, it was a different ball game altogether. You could tell that Brock respected AJ, that he wanted to work with AJ, and in the process they ended up developing what at that point in time was one of Brock's best wrestling matches that we had seen in years.
Yeah, and just even to go up on that too, Brock is very good working with the smaller athlete. Like, he's always had chemistry. Even back when he did stuff with Dominic and Ray, there was that athleticism and that chemistry with him. Even the matches he had with, at then, Daniel Bryan was absolutely amazing. Even though Daniel Bryan had just turned quote unquote heel on that earlier in that storyline, just a single fact that he took that and kicked Brock Lesnar in the, in the balls there, kind of. And but it was so, it just made a lot of sense. Like, I just remember like how invested I was there and how they took the belief that, oh, Daniel Bryan could actually win this match. And I was shocked of how much they made me kind of just change my thought process, because going in, you always kind of had to have that assumption that Brock Lesnar is going to just rip through the competition. So his ability to kind of push that aside and kind of, change that, like, and he did the same thing last night or yesterday. Sorry, I keep saying last night or whatever, but it was yesterday. But he wasn't the aggressive one. So it just makes what he does so much more valuable. And that's why I say you can't rush through this, because it's a special thing that you're just not going to get anywhere else right now. There is no two big men anywhere else of that nature right now in professional wrestling.
Yeah, you're right on that. And, it's wonderful. And what we did see yesterday, again, I know I mentioned it. I thought the match was quite good. It was intense. It had the intensity level you expect for these two behemoths to go in with and stuff like that. They're very well accomplished in what they do. There was a lot of good selling, especially with the knee of Brock Lesnar. He was doing fantastic there. This was one time, especially and this is what I liked about this. Brock, we've seen him go in with Goldberg. They have their quick matches, a couple surprises here and there. But in this one in particular, this one showed almost like Lashley being the Achilles heel of Brock Lesnar. There was a lot of Brock looking like he was in danger at times, that he wasn't sure how he was going to struggle to get out of fighting Bobby Lashley. He did not know how to put a stop to what Bobby Lashley was bringing to the table and the intensity that he was bringing to the table. And again, Bobby Lashley kicking out of an F5 just shows how much trust and belief not only Triple H, but also Brock Lesnar have in putting Bobby Lashley over on this level. Brock Lesnar is a guy who a victory over him or a good, strong feud with him can escalate you in the ways that sometimes the World Championship escalates you, because Brock Lesnar is a special attraction, much like Andre the Giant was once upon a time as well too, not necessarily needing a championship to prove their status within the professional wrestling world, but also just as much an attraction as what a title match can be.
Yeah, and despite if people are sick and tired of him being champion, I can 100% understand that that thing. It's just the believability that he brings is second to none in pro wrestling. And that's why I love it. Like when people still like, oh, I'd rather have seen Undertaker, maybe give that streak to, a Roman Reigns or a Bray Wyatt or whoever. That's why I still love him. Like shooter work, like who beats up Brock Lesnar? And that's where, those names dwindle down. And I think Bobby Lashley is one of those guys that really kind of just makes you wonder, well, he could. I wouldn't be surprised. So it's kind of one of those things where now all of a sudden, like you're actually putting these legit names in that ring to see what happens. Like, and WWE's they're doing a good job of with people like that, but it's far and few that are in that category. So you got to definitely protect those because those are definitely your hidden commodities in pro wrestling.
They sure are. And yeah, again, I'm invested in this feud. Definitely. I think that it's going places. It was definitely a bizarre finish to that matchup. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but at the same time, it definitely protected Bobby Lashley in so many ways. Even in a loss, Bobby Lashley come out of this thing look like $1 million. He was the aggressor. He had Brock looking afraid. If it wasn't for an unfortunate turn of events, Bobby Lashley would be 2-0 over Brock Lesnar, and that argument can be made by not only the fans, but by Bobby Lashley himself, which is going to carry this feud to a whole new level, making Brock look like almost the sympathetic babyface, the one that needs to overcome the big bad here kind of thing. And I'm not saying that Bobby Lashley's being presented as a heel necessarily, but this is a hurdle that Brock Lesnar is not easily overcoming like he has so many times in the past.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I said yesterday, the times where you're able to say Brock Lesnar looks a little sympathetic right now, again, far and not a lot of times. So it's reassuring to know that we can still feel that emotion watching Brock Lesnar, and he's still capable of, having people look that way. Like you said earlier, like with him having some issues with his knee and Bobby Lashley going and working, just like punishing his knee a little bit, I thought really told a good story. The only thing I would have done is I wouldn't have had Brock Lesnar hit any F5s in that match to really tie down the value of that, like the significance of that knee right now. And I just don't understand like why Brock like it just seems like they always have to hit everything in their repertoire in these matches. And the one thing I just would have done is stay away a little bit from any F5s or any moves like that to kind of just, resemble, hey, look, this is something that's causing Brock Lesnar to, be away from all the things that he knows. That way, making that finish where he was in the hurt lock and he just kicks off the rope and puts some pressure on Bobby Lashley, who still has the hurt lock as the pin's going on. I just thought that would have made it look a little bit better and a little bit more. It would just made a little bit more sense. Brock Lesnar outthinking Bobby Lashley in that match. So that's the only thing I would have. Bobby Munson right now is just just taking a little break right now. He will be back. He just will be with it. So I just want to take this time to showcase our sponsor and to talk about our sponsor right now. We got, there you are, Bobby.
Just, technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. Things happen. But yeah, no, if you go to rogueenergy.com right now and you use the promo code OLEPOD, you will receive 10% off. I just recently made a purchase on there and I have zero complaints. It is a fantastic product. And the one thing I wish I did is I wish I would have waited a little bit because now they're officially selling the Rogue Energy in cans. And it's absolutely fun. I mean, as you can see, I love my energy drinks. I drink them almost every day. Don't tell my health consultant that at all. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic product. They definitely have a lot of, dietary and vegan options there. So make sure you're checking it out. And as the energy in the product there is. You can also get swag, whether it's hoodies, t-shirts, hats. I got a hat. I was stupid and I left it upstairs. But yeah, it fits great. Like their merchandise good. So give them a shout. Make sure you use the code word OLE pods and you will receive 10% off your order. Because they do a lot of great things. And quite frankly, we love that. And they support us. We support them. And guess what? There's no better time to go rogue than today and right now.
Yeah, gotta absolutely love people who are doing things to make healthier alternatives out there, because as we get older, we want to start taking better care of ourselves and making sure that we're around for a long time, and that's exactly what we can do when we have alternatives like Rogue Energy. So check them out today. Scan that QR code, because you know what, that's the easiest way to do it. But if you like typing the numbers, of course,
right
rogueenergy.com.
there.
And don't forget that promo code OLE pods, because 10% off your order will help you just buy more stuff. And the more you buy,
with the money you
the more
save
you get
by
to
using
try.
our promo code, you can sub our local establishment with that money.
Nice touch. I like.
Just saying. Sometimes it's all about what you decide to do with that dollar, because a dollar can go a long way.
There's a plug for you, Melball, saying get the blood orange flavor. We got a favorite pick right there from Melball, and it's the blood orange. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of the black cherry. That's something that I like right now.
There you go. So I'd almost imagine that's probably the closest you're going to get to like a standard energy drink flavoring as well too, kind of that black cherry-ish kind of direction.
And, I mean, as you can see between Melba and I, we can't get sick of Rogue Energy. But you know who could get sick and who was sick? And that was Drew McIntyre last night at Crown Jewel.
What?
Badly, the reports came out saying that he was badly sick, but there was no way he wanted to miss the show. Probably would have missed it if it was a couple years prior. Don't think he would have been allowed, but absolutely just a huge testament to Drew McIntyre in the performance, because I'm not going to lie, I could not tell that there was something wrong with him in that match. In fact, we're talking about how we knew that the match didn't flow like we thought it would. Perhaps this was a strong indication of why, but
yeah,
I mean, what a absolute beast Drew McIntyre is doing that. Hopefully he just takes the time now to just kind of rest and recoup, because I know he won that match with Karrion Kross, but I do think it's okay for him to, I don't want to say go away, but just take some time off and come back where it's like a big deal, like I feel like he's being just rushed into things a lot lately.
Yeah, even if it's just a week or two kind of thing, just a short. I know they got Survivor Series build, and Drew McIntyre is probably a part of the plans and everything like that, but at least give him a week kind of thing. Yeah. Like a 1 week off from, is it Raw? He's on Raw, right? Or is
SmackDown.
He on SmackDown? So he's on SmackDown. So a week off from Friday night, I don't think is going to be a detriment by any means or anything like that. Have him away for 1 week. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let him get better. Again, we don't need him affecting everybody to the point where nobody's available for Survivor Series, which, again, that's coming up so quick, and they haven't dropped any plans as far as I know. I mean, they keep telling us.
Well, they have War Games.
You think, but
we don't know who's in the War Games. Yeah.
It'd be nice to know, or at least have something to go by. I mean, people are just speculating at this point. It's all spitballing right now. We have no clue, and it's when, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to turn it over
Saturday, November 26th, I believe. Actually, hold on, let me get this. Today is the 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th.
Saturday, November 26th. Yep. You are correct, 100%.
Nailed it. I did look it up yesterday. I just wasn't sure if I remembered.
So we're looking at
what
20
people call
days.
Smart, all right?
I think you're pretty good.
I mean, SMRT.
But we're looking at 20 days away, 20 days in order to build one of your supposed big 4 shows of the year. Isn't a lot of time. That's, a lot of that focus was taken from doing the Crown Royal event. Crown Royal. Where my mind's going right now.
It's a party over here.
Yeah. It's 12 o'clock somewhere,
it's
right?
Wine and Dine, 619 episode. Bobby Munson needs some liquor to feel fine.
That's right. No, well, hey, I mean, they still young. But yeah, no, it seems like all that focus was taken into the Crown Jewel event yesterday, so we haven't had a chance to develop anything for the Survivor Series. And I hope that that doesn't mean that it ends up being something that's thrown together like we've seen in previous years, because the announcement of War Games got everybody excitement. Now, if the execution does not live up to the hype, it is just going to be another failed Survivor Series, which we have seen year after year after year for quite some time. There has not been a memorable Survivor Series in, I would say, at least a decade that I can recall. And I think it's about time to step up the game, make something that people are going to remember. And hopefully they are going to do that on the 26th. But again, they've got to get right down to it. Like tomorrow's Monday Night Raw. If they aren't starting to, ignite the flames and give us an idea of what's going down, they're doing an injustice to the fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of it. They wanted to get through the Crown Jewel paper or PLE just to to go through that. But I think too, obviously, you saw Crown Jewel kind of help facilitate and extend a couple feuds going on. I don't think outside of that WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship match, anything was finalized in terms of stories. So I think that's a benefit, and they can continue the ball going with this week's Raw and this week's SmackDown. I do think we will see some things because I don't think they'll. I don't think a week from now, like it next week when we're doing the Perfect 10 episode of Busting It Out, I think we'll have a lot more information. Yeah. A lot more information about Survivor Series this year. And I do think we're going to see probably 2 War Game matches announced within the next week or 2. So yeah, and I have a feeling we'll see one men's, one women's.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see where either one of them goes. It's, again, hopefully not just going to be something thrown together. The War Games needs to be something special. There needs to be the build there. Clearly, the Bloodline, I am assuming, is the direction for one of the teams within the men's War Games. That seems like a no-brainer at this point. It's just a matter of collectively, who are they going to get in there against them, and what's the reasoning going to be? Why are you going to have this group of other people that want to lock up with the Bloodline, other than them being the dominant faction in WWE? That's about the only storyline I can see going into this currently that they can roll with.
Yeah, and it'd be very interesting to see kind of what's put up against them. Like, I have a indication we might see Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, to be quite honest, because don't forget that the last time we saw Sheamus was the Bloodline breaking his arm. So I do think we might have something right away there. I wouldn't be against War Games this year being one of those stories where we start finally seeing a little bit more development on Sami Zayn's involvement, because as we saw on SmackDown, he was kind of slightly written off to participating in Crown Jewel, which we all know just from a political standpoint, he will not go there. Needless to say, the Crown Jewel fan, or the people at Crown Jewel, the Saudi Arabia fans, they still want their Sami Zayn. There was a plenty amount of "we want Sami" chants going in last night. So just to show the popularity of Sami Zayn right now is absolutely amazing. But given the continuation of Jay, who's not feeling very oozy right now, and Sami Zayn with the Bloodline, I can definitely see that maybe there might be a little bit more progression in that story, because I do feel we're eventually going towards a potential Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns match.
I think it would be quite entertaining too if this week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn was trying to convince the Usos that they could use the Freebird rule with the match with the New Day coming up, and have Sami try to get him to be one of the replacements, that he would be one of the 2 defending the tag team titles, and just that animosity that it will continue to create with the group at the same time. Like, who is the guy I think he is, inserting himself, defend our tag belts kind of thing. Creating that tension within that group is only going to help to solidify that clear babyface push that they're going to be given to Sami Zayn when he walks out of this thing. There's no denying it. I mean, at this point, everybody talking about the storyline loves Sami Zayn. There's a lot of people that love the work that he's doing just all throughout the wrestling community, every house show, anything like that he's going to, he is getting a babyface pop when he comes out, and they are a heel stable, which just goes to show they have to make that turn soon to capitalize on the popularity of Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say they have to do it soon, but they have to be very smart with how they're doing it. They have to make sure they have their timing correct, because the last thing you want to do is have something like this, something that's so organic and natural happening, just fizzle out because you didn't know the right time to fire that gun, right? And to kind of hit that trigger. So I think you just got to make sure this is a thing. But I do believe that whenever you decide to pull that trigger, you need more Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn dynamic in there. Because for the long time, you had Kevin Owens try to tell Sami Zayn, dude, like, look at you. This ain't you. What are you becoming, kind of a thing. And they've kind of tied away from that right now. So I do want to see a little bit more involvement of KO, because right now we're not seeing anything definitive with KO on Raw. So I'd like to see that kind of translate back into this angle and this story.
Well, so do we know for sure when the draft is coming up? Like, is there going to be a possibility of them being on the same show in any capacity sometime soon, or is the draft being held till after WrestleMania?
I don't know. At first, I heard sometime after Survivor Series, and now I'm hearing sometime in 2023. I don't think a draft is really needed right now with the product. I don't think it's going to change anything, because I think we've already seen that if some people are needed or there's a hole here, you're just going to see people go to the other show.
Yeah.
Like with the Usos and the Bloodline kind of all having championships, they have that opportunity to go to the other show. So really, is there a reason for, Kevin Owens to be moved to SmackDown or anything like that, when the majority of the people in that, other side of that potential like storyline can just easily come over because of the rule that they are the champion? So I don't know. But the one thing I do want to see is I want to see a little bit more. If there is a draft, I want to see post that the people on SmackDown are SmackDown. People on Raw are Raw. I don't want to see people just move without reasons. We saw that there was a trade earlier when we saw Baron Corbin move over to Raw. And I think it was for Rey Mysterio. That was kind of tied towards that, right?
Yeah.
So why can't we just see a little bit more of that, just for the clarity of, they're just moving guys over for no reason again? Give us a little bit of a reason. Even if it's something minor of a trade, who cares? At least that's definitive enough for me to be like, oh, okay, this guy's now here because he was moved.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that idea and stuff like that. You don't need a full draft. You could have trades between the two brands and everything. And I mean, if you're not going to adhere to it and people are just going to show up on whatever show, why can't you just essentially sort out generally who you're going to use on each show? And when it gets to a point where it's like, we don't really have any angles that work for this particular person on SmackDown right now, why don't we try to do a swap with Raw and see what we can do, bringing this person here and this person here for a while? And you don't necessarily need the entire draft to put that in place, or any definitive reason. If you don't call it a draft, or you don't call it two definitive brands that are at war with each other anymore, you really could just shift them between without reasoning at that point, once you realize that there might be new storylines to open up for them on the other program. And yeah, just leave it where, you have your essential people that you use on either one or the other kind of thing, and they don't shift all the time, that it's, when the time is right.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, I think just, again, like some more continuity. Like, we know that WWE has the roster to like make this a thing if they want, but I know sometimes you need that extra time to kind of just either tell a story or to add other things in a story. So I wouldn't be against it. This is why I don't dislike the fact that Roman Reigns doesn't go on Raw a lot, is because of the fact that, okay, it allows like the US title to become a little bit more of a primary thing on Monday Night Raw. And if he doesn't necessarily wrestle a lot on SmackDown, I'm okay with that, because it makes Gunther and that Intercontinental title more of a must get kind of a thing, and then makes Roman Reigns and that championship more of an attraction at the bigger shows, like what we saw at Crown Jewel. And I thought they did a very great job of making that a must-see match, despite the fact there's a lot of people that knew just right as soon as that happened, Logan Paul ain't winning. I think too, a lot of people still checked it out because they wanted to see, are they going to do something absolutely insane or not? I think they told that very well. But again, I think WWE just needs to make sure that there's continuity going on. And if there's continuity, that's all they need to do.
Yeah, and it's just like you say, it's a curiosity thing more than anything. Whether or not you're certain it's going to go a certain way, the fact that you'll turn in on the slim chance that they might pull a fast one on you is, it's really interesting in that sense because it's, nobody necessarily wanted this match with Logan Paul and Roman Reigns, but we had to know what the outcome was going to be. How was this going to play out? Was this going to be a quick and over with it? Would they pull a fast one? Could they possibly end the run of Roman Reigns, this one that they keep putting up there with some of the longest reigns of the championship in the history of the company, only to have him end up losing that to a flash in the pan YouTube star? Like, we were certain as wrestling fans, there's no chance that was going to happen. But we all tuned in, and there was a couple moments in that match. You thought for a second, my God, they're going to do this to us.
By God, I think the unexpected can happen. But no, and it was just, you know what, and you got to give credit where credit's due on at least the effort that they put into that. I think Roman Reigns deserves a lot of credit with his performance last night. I think he was given a task that might not have been the easiest tasks to do. It's a lot easier to go out and have a great match against, a Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens or Brock Lesnar or Drew McIntyre of the worlds. But to go and be the third professional match for Logan Paul in a main event of a show the size of Crown Jewel, I think that was definitely a task at hand. And that was a challenge to see how good Roman Reigns is. So I think the fact that people I know we talked about it on pay-per-views yesterday that whether or not the match went too long and whether or not that took away from Roman Reigns. I don't think so anymore because the more and more I saw it, what he was able to do was probably do something, and he did something that nobody else has done because both matches Logan Paul was in, he was very protected in I believe, were they not tag matches though? Or because he had the one match with The Miz, right?
His first one was a tag match. That was the one with The Miz as a tag team partner.
But with The Miz, he was able to kind of be more protected in the way of you're not going to be pressured into putting in a banger of a match. As long as it's entertaining, it's fine. You're going to get a different match with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, I think we can honestly say, does a lot more in his matches on a wrestling side than The Miz.
Yeah. And Roman, I mean, he's fantastic. I mean, he's got a great respect for the business and the history of the business. He knows how to get a good show out of everything because he doesn't allow things to be done too often. If some spot is going to be done in a Roman Reigns match at the top of the card, if you look back, that same spot is not going to be done throughout anybody's matches on the rest of the card because he is old school like that. He'll have it where if we're doing this, you're not doing it, you're not doing it, you're not doing it. And vice versa. If somebody else has a reason to be doing a certain spot in the match, he's not going to go do it in his match either because he doesn't want to take away from it and everything to blend together. And that's what stood out about Roman. It's what stood out about his entire championship run this far as well, too. He has been a testament to what a champion should be, whether, there's some dusty finishes or not when it comes to how he's kept that belt. He has done an excellent job. And the person who does take it off of him at this point now is somebody that they have to have a lot of faith in, that they have to know is going to be the face of the company, because this is the chase. At this point, this is the chase. When the babyface finally gets that moment, and again, I see no other way other than Cody Rhodes for this championship at this moment. I think that he's the only one that has that chase about him, that babyface chase, as we would say, to go up against Roman Reigns and be the guy that finally does it. But I mean, the sinister part of me still thinks it would be hilarious if you built this right through to WrestleMania, and that's what we got was Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. Cody finally wins and he's celebrating, he's crying in the ring, almost that reminiscent of when Shawn Michaels finally won at WrestleMania and has that belt and he's got it and he's crying into it. And if good old Austin Theory, who everyone keeps forgetting about, were to walk on down, cash it on in, and steal that moment dirty like that from Cody Rhodes right at WrestleMania. I mean,
well, okay, and then this kind of goes into a great conversation now. What is next for Roman Reigns? Because we know that Logan Paul will not be the next guy anymore because he's going to be out for a while. Therefore, anybody thinking, oh, are we going to see the Paul brothers against the Usos? That might also have to wait because also, and I'm reading an article from Wrestling Inc. right now, it looks like the plan for anymore with Jake Paul right now, there isn't anything concrete as it stands. There might be interest when the time's right, but as of right now, there's nothing set in stone and there's no deal on the table right now for anything else. Not to mention, if Logan Paul's unable to perform, you will not see a tag team between Jake and Logan Paul right now. So we know that the New Day is next for the Usos on this week's edition of SmackDown on the 11/11. So that's a remembrance day to remember right now because you know that's going to be a classic. But what is going to be the big match for Roman Reigns next? And I think this is kind of where it's interesting. I do believe right now Sheamus is the best bet to do. So what do you think about Roman Reigns' next opponent? Because he might not be at Survivor Series. He might not wrestle at Survivor Series per se, but if he does, not only who, but then what is his direction to the Rumble? Because I do think that it's clear cut that the winner of the Rumble, that's who he'll have.
yeah, and I mean, you're talking about who might be up at Survivor Series. Again, we don't know if he's going to be included in War Games or not. So it could be a 4-man War Games. It could be a 5-man War Games. We're not 100% sure. So he could be involved in that particular match. He could be defending the title at the same time. I think, Sheamus, that is the direction it seems to be going. And that would be logical after the attacks that happened to him. I think that you could get a solid match out of those two guys. They'll know how to work together. They're going to give a strong outing for that championship. You're going to have the fans clearly behind Sheamus. But, inevitably this, again, is going to lead to Roman continuing that run as the champion. And then after that, I believe that you're right. I think you could have the turn on Sami Zayn and have Sami Zayn go up, say, at the Rumble even. At that point to get that championship matchup, and whether it's questionable whether or not you're going to take the belt off Roman before WrestleMania. But if rumors are true, he's holding that thing right through to WrestleMania, which at that point makes me believe, do we think that he's definitely going up against the Rumble? Well, obviously he's going up against the Rumble winner if he's got both belts, but where does that leave you? Does that leave you to a return for Cody Rhodes to come in and take that spot? Or are they going to push for that inevitable return of the Rock? And would the Rock make a surprise return for the Rumble just to win it so he could face Roman? I mean, this one could go any direction. It is a very strange time, and anything can happen right now.
Yeah. And that's just it. And who's to say if a match with The Rock is actually going to be for the championship or not? I mean, we all like to think that that's going to be the play because we couldn't fathom, but I do think that there's a lot of stories right now that could go the other way, and The Rock could be the guy that costs Roman Reigns a championship. And then that's where Roman Reigns would be like, no, okay, we need to settle this once and for all. You just can't come into my island of relevancy and think you can control everything that happens. So we need to settle this once and for all. Who's the real head of the table? Who's the trap? I think there's so many different ways you can do that without the championship. But I understand why you do it with the championship, because The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the title at WrestleMania does sound pretty big in my eyes. But also, if that's not the case, if The Rock cannot participate at WrestleMania, you need that plan B. But at the same time, what happens if Cody isn't ready for the Royal Rumble? Does he have to be that guy? I don't know if necessarily. It could very well be Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Sheamus, anybody else. We just don't know. AJ Styles, maybe. The one thing I'm curious with War Games right now, I'm looking at the landscape of WWE, and I'm seeing a lot of trios or a lot of multi-person stables. You got Imperium on one side. You got the Bloodline on one side. You got the Brawling Brutes on one side. Then on the other side, you have you also have Legado del Fantasma on that side. But then on the other side, you have Judgment Day. You have the OC. And I think there is a plethora amounts of people that, you can have going up against a bloodline right now that would make sense. Who's to say that maybe an OC versus bloodline wouldn't make sense right now? And if people are like, who would be a good addition for the OC? I think we just mentioned him. What about Cody Rhodes?
That's a fair thought as well too. But again, he'd have to be ready to go here right away if we're doing that for the Survivor Series. But
I'm just saying down the road too. Like it's all interesting to see what they can do because there's a plethora amount of reasons. I think nobody's going to complain if we get Roman Reigns versus Gunther anytime soon. I don't think anybody's going to complain about Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor or Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. Hell, Roman Reigns versus Santos Escobar right now seems pretty entertaining to me. I have time for that one.
But see, you're naming all these factions, and the great thing about that is we don't even have to think inside of the War Games match itself. We got Survivor Series coming up in a few weeks' time. Survivor Series always was about the teams versus the teams in those elimination Survivor Series matchups. There are some good ones on the card. The Judgment Day versus the OC, especially if the OC does bring in someone to help with Rhea, you've got a perfect 4v4 Survivor Series elimination match, and about damn time that we had one that wasn't just based around, oh, look, Raw and SmackDown hate each other this week because we told you they do.
Yeah. And as many as people like wondering who's going to be the solution to the Rhea problem, I do think that you might want to just Yeah, we need to I think we're going to ban our first person.
Yes, I believe so too. Can we do that right from here? Block user. There we go. Done.
Yeah. Done and done.
You're out of here.
Yeah. You can go elsewhere for that content. But that's not the busting out we provide people. But yeah, no, and I think it could very well, and I've heard reports that Raquel Rodriguez could be that Rhea Ripley solution. But given our yesterday's event where we saw Rhea Ripley make sure people see that there was a throwback and an honorary gesture towards one Beth Phoenix. What happens if Beth Phoenix is that Rhea Ripley solution?
I think that would be the best laid plan, to be honest with you. They already kind of laid the groundwork for that with all the attacks on Edge and then Beth having to come to his aid and stuff like that. I think that Rhea is inside the head of Beth Phoenix, and I think that that's where they're leaning. And I think she doesn't need to come back just for the sake of Edge. If somebody is calling out her honor, is doing something along those lines, then yes, she should come back inside with the OC and go into that would be a great Survivor Series 4v4 if it was Beth Phoenix and the OC versus the Judgment Day. Sign me up. I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah. But again, I just want to see continuity. And even though Beth Phoenix really has no correlation with Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles, she does have a common enemy in Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day. So an enemy of my enemy is my friend. You kind of have to think about that way too, because yes, AJ and Edge had some deals back in the day too. So, but at the same time, they both want to, go after the same people. So, I mean, we've seen that story before, and you don't have to overthink it. It just makes sense. Whereas I think maybe adding Raquel Rodriguez right now might over-convolute things because now we have to ask, why is she a part of this? Why did she decide? Why are the OC choosing her? Kind of a thing. And it's just a stretch at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the only reasoning you could come up with is because she's physically dominant, and in terms of contending against someone the strength and size of Rhea Ripley, then it's a fit in that sense. But it's the only fit. As where Beth Phoenix, the storyline works a whole lot more. And trust me, Beth is an ass kicker, and I think that she fits the bill for someone who can contend with the strength and size of a Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and I think that's the eventual match everybody wants anyway, right? Is Rhea against Beth. So just adding layers onto that might just be a great thing.
Yeah, I think so as well too. But yeah, I think there's so much excitement abound, and I think that gives us reason to need to tune in to Raw and SmackDown this week to find out just exactly what is going to happen, what's going to get fleshed out, what are we going to see leading into the Survivor Series. This is one of the big 4 pay-per-views, and it's going to be fantastic to be able to go and do that. I'm really excited to see how this starts to plan out.
Yeah, so no, we'll see. I do think there's a lot to get excited for. I just obviously the first time War Games being on the main card is going to be fun. Seeing Triple H again get to book a War Games, but now it's going to be with the people of Raw and SmackDown, not NXT. I think is exciting. So yeah, definitely. I think just be patient, because I do think in the next week or two we'll have a lot more information in regards to the Survivor Series. But yeah, my thing is if Roman Reigns is competing inside of War Games, I would love to see not only a US but Intercontinental Championship match as well on that card.
Yeah, exactly. It would be good to have some title matches in there. A really good, strong Gunther matchup with somebody one-on-one, or again, Seth Rollins, of course, with the U.S. title. I mean, there's just so much to be had. And again, we don't have to have champion versus champion. Please don't do the Seth Rollins versus Gunther just be for brand supremacy. I mean, don't say I'm not saying I don't want that.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, the match itself would be good, but this brand supremacy shit is what I don't care for. So, yeah. But yeah, the storyline not great there. But yes, if you could find a good way to make Rollins versus Gunther happen down the road, then go for it, because I'm not against that matchup.
No, but no, we want to take this time to get away from that and just kind of go back to what we kind of like, and that's more maybe tradition at Survivor Series. So if you can, and that's where maybe this can come with. We can see more of that. I don't want to say brand supremacy, but that, who runs what shows. Maybe we'll get more of the Imperium versus maybe Legado, or maybe we will see the OC against Judgment Day in that true form. And maybe that's all about factions. Maybe this is the one time where you can do nothing but faction matches and it'll work, because again, you're going back to that traditional aspect of Survivor Series, but because you have so many factions, it does make sense to kind of go that route. And I wouldn't have an issue with that, but I would like at least one or two singles matches as well. So even if you wanted to say do Judgment Day against the OC, and you have, a fourth member of the OC going there, cool. And then if you want to have maybe Imperium, and I still think if you brought up Ginny to help be that female part of Imperium, I'd be okay with that. Go up against Legado with Selena Vega by their side, and I think right there you got a 4 versus 4. So that would be perfect as well. And then maybe you can do Brutes against Bloodline in a War Games match, whereas then you can translate Damage Control against, Team Bianca in the other one. And then you can also go, okay, Seth Rollins, okay, put up the title against maybe your Riddle, Zeke, or Elias, and then Ali. And then that's maybe your one match there. It's still 4 people, but it's still something different.
Now that sounds like a Survivor Series I can get behind. In fact, if they go that direction, I'll be the first one to sign up and watch it. Oh, let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to watch it anyway. So
yeah, and we're going to have paper reviews right after following it. So it'll be great.
That's what we do. We like to rock and roll here on our local establishment. And speaking of rock and rolling and here on our local establishment, we got so many cool shows on this channel, shows that involve wonderful contributors. And just so you know what's coming up in the following week right here on OLE, we're going to play a short video. Yeah, we're going to play a short video. Check it out. This is what we got coming up this week for you.
To me, like a voice inside my head. It's like a fight back and I'll tweet it. Falling, frustrated, intoxicated. I know I'm losing myself. I can't take it anymore. But I'm not done. I'm not done. I won't give up until the end. But I won't fall. I'll stand away.
yeah, that's what we got coming up. And Ash was saying, love the song. I do too. It's a fantastic song.
As it comes, when it comes to
yeah.
the music of OLE, I just want to quote one Seamus: "Nothing but banger after banger after banger after banger," and I barely knew her.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, some of that music, again, a lot of the music used here on our local establishment from some of the shows that I'm part of. One of the bands in particular is On Lap. Another one is an artist named Nick Ira that does a lot of contributions as well too. So big shout out to both those two gentlemen. And again, the one here on Busting Out, Parrish, do you want to give a shout out and let you know?
Yeah, it's a band that no longer is around, but a good friend of mine who was part of this band. They were called 5 Years Further. Used to be known as a band called Toxin. It is a local band here in the Edmonton area. So yeah, just again, we are supporting local, and that is kind of what we do here at our local establishment.
Sure is. And we've had a lot of fun here today on Busting Out like we always do. It's always a fantastic time. We got a lot of great shows coming up. I'm excited. The Paramindful episode 2 is dropping this week. But outside of OLE, those are the shows you can catch from us. But a lot of the contributors that are here on OLE have shows going on outside of OLE. Again, on Thursday nights, you might be able to catch Papa Smokes and I on Fusion, but you can also catch Astrid and Cody making an impact right afterwards over on Astrid's Twitch channel, which we will be rating right after we are done on Thursday night as well, too. But you could also check out other various shows from other contributors here on the channel. A lot of great things are going on, including, I think Astrid just dropped a new episode of Astrid Asks, if I'm not mistaken, featuring Billy Starks. So that's fantastic. Check that out as well too, and support everybody here. And if ever you want to be part of our local establishment, well, you already are in a sense because you're here watching. But if you ever want to be on screen with us, just reach out. We got lots of opportunities for guests to be joining us here on the various shows. So reach out to any of the contributors here and see how you can get part of on-screen activity here at our local establishment.
Yeah, and you can just DM us at any of our social medias, which, Bobby, if you want to quickly plug where maybe people can message you.
That's right. As you check the ticker down below, you can do that. Reach out anytime. Let me know what you got going on, what you want to talk about. Maybe you got some questions for us on the various shows. But outside of that, where you can check me out, as I said, Thursday nights with my man, the man with the angelic voice, Papa Smokes. We can join us on Thursday night as we do a watch along and review of the latest edition of MLW Fusion. You can also check out myself and Parrish on Sundays with Busting Out. But I'm also going to have some other various things going on too. I think this Monday I'm going to be having a nice big stream over on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/videobro_Bobby Munson, where I'm going to be playing games all day, having some drinks, having a good old time. It's not rare that I've got a day off from work and just nothing necessarily to do. So I'm going to have some fun with you guys. So tune in tomorrow. Fun time.
Yeah, don't want to miss that because I know how I believe you just got the you figured out where you can actually put your video as you play. So it's going to be a great turn of fun just watching you interact.
You can listen to me and watch me be the official world's worst gamer. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, and I do want to watch that now. And if you ever want to, send me any messages about our local establishment, feel free to message me on my Twitter at Chris Parrish, my Instagram at Chris.Parrish, and then obviously at my Twitch at the Chris Parrish. We're always there, and I believe we can always contact our local establishment at, I believe it's olepods@gmail.com. That is the official email.
OLE podcasts.
Podcast, yes. Yeah, you can see how clearly much we use that one. But yeah, that is the official email for our local establishment. So go send us a message there as well. But yeah, so Bobby, unless there's anything else for you to say, we can.
Nothing else, I think. But yes, you're welcome, Astrid. But we're gonna do interesting raid today. I think we're going to be very, very nice on this one. We're gonna throw an interesting raid.
Before you go there, we want everyone to make sure that this is the epitome of showcasing the Ole way, where we rate the people that you used to see us with. We are the Brunch Busters, and before we were able to bust out, we were hosting Sunday brunch over at Love Wrestling. We do want to show support. We will show support to everyone out there. So if you can join us in the raid, go say hi. Go show the Ole way by that accounts. But yeah, so
and it never hurts to throw out an Ole or two over there in the comment section.
Hit them up with as many Oles as humanly possible, because that would be neat. So in just a little bit, we will be starting the raid over there. But for the people watching on YouTube, we will close out busting out the way that we normally do. So Bobby, just any last words you say before we close out?
Not a whole lot, other than hopefully everybody has a great week ahead of you. Tune into as many shows as possible and always support everybody and anybody. That's what we love to do, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much for your time today. And as always, love you and appreciate every single one of you.